Have you ever had trouble making a decision? It might be as simple as deciding what you're going to have for dinner. It could be as important as deciding what school you might want to go to or your career. Well, I've had trouble making decisions all of my life, even as a child. I can remember taking multiple choice exams and going, well, all of these are correct depending on the conditions. Consequently, at times I procrastinate making a decision because I can see the good and the bad that might come out of that decision. Sometimes I'll research something to death when I could have just quickly decided to move forward or not move forward on an idea. Well, since reading How to Make Up Your Mind, and you can see I have areas marked, I've gone to a different place in my decision making. I now understand that some decisions don't really merit long drawn out process, and other decisions do because they may be permanent. Now think about it. If you're faced with deciding what you're going to eat for dinner, unless you pick something that could kill you because you're allergic to it, it's not that big of a deal. But deciding where you live, deciding whether or not you are going to jump off the roof, those have some more serious ramifications. I was particularly intrigued with his research into how we make decisions and understanding that there is a process and that I could change the way that I approach decision making to make it more rigorous when required, and that I would have the right tools so I could make better decisions. I run my own business, and sometimes I'm the one who has to choose what's going to happen next. With the help of this book, I have a different way to evaluate how I make my decisions and what the outcome, how the outcome will affect my business and my life. A story that's in the book is how the Challenger disaster could have been avoided. The folks at NASA had plenty of information, and they also had some unknowns. Like, they weren't sure what would happen if they launched under the weather conditions that they chose to launch the craft in. He documents how they went from having an information-based decision to overriding it by emotions and made a fatal error. One of the outcomes of that disaster, and with Hal's experience and guidance, changed the way that NASA now makes decisions. In any situation where there could be a loss of life, the stakeholders, those astronauts in this case, who were going to be in the vehicle, are involved in the decision. Well, it makes sense when you think about it, because the outcome is permanent, whether or not you live or die. And therefore, the people who are most affected by that outcome should be part of the decision. I found that I now have a different way to look at making decisions. The models in the book helped me see the process, and that there are different levels of facts and when emotions come into play in making decisions. I particularly appreciate this because ever since I was a small child, I've had trouble deciding what's the right thing to do. With the help of How to Make Up Your Mind, I feel I'm making better choices and I'm worrying a whole lot less about, am I making the best choices for my business and in my life. Thank you, Hal, for writing this book. And I am wholeheartedly excited about the fact that you are not only teaching this to business owners and scientists, but your mission to help children learn this process early in their lives will make them better students and better citizens, and give them the tools that they need so that they can have the lives that they want and know when it's a permanent and when it's a temporary outcome. Oh, I'm Judy-Baker. I'm completely creative. My specialty is marketing and branding. And How to Make Up Your Mind has helped me help my clients.